6:53 right now. Let's take a look at some of the stories that we're following as you head out the door, Marie.
Well, states across the country are protesting the killing of George Floyd. Some of those protests turned violent across the country, even here in Alabama. Protesters down in the Birmingham area cheered as they were able to topple a Confederate statue. They also tried to topple another monument. Protests across North Alabama in Huntsville, Decatur, Florence, and Fort Payne stayed peaceful. Sierra?
Protesters are expected to gather here at the Madison County Courthouse this afternoon. The peaceful protest called Together We March is to show solidarity with many others, like you just mentioned, protesting across the country. The peaceful protest begins at 3 p.m. on the north side of the courthouse square. Marie?
As people reflect on the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis and the corresponding protests across the country, we wanted to see how leaders here in Alabama are responding. U.S. Senator Doug Jones stressed listening to the community and start taking action. We reached out to both Governor Kay Ivey's office and the Alabama Attorney General's office, Steve Marshall, to hear from them. We'll let you know what they have to say when we get a response from them.
One big worry following these protests is the spread of coronavirus. Right now, Alabama has nearly 18,000 cases of the virus on record, with nearly 600 new cases reported since this time yesterday. More than 50 of those new cases coming from North Alabama. The region is seeing nearly 3,000 cases as a whole. More than 600 Alabamians have died from coronavirus. Marie?
Well, something reopening for the first time in more than 2 months, high school sports. Well, of course, scaled back, that is. The Alabama High School Athletic Association says schools can reopen this morning and they can begin their training for their sports. It has to be in accordance, though, with the Alabama State Department of Education guidelines and the Department of Health. The original date was pushed forward by 1 week from June 8th to today. Pat?
Rosie's Cantina scheduled to open later on today. The location off Memorial Parkway was supposed to reopen last week, but the location said 2 other employees tested positive for coronavirus. Today marks more than 2 weeks since the employees last worked. Marie?
Well, plans for construction at the Huntsville Hospital Surgical Tower are on standby now as work was shut down after an employee there tested positive for coronavirus last week. The company handling the project told us work will resume later today. They said they received all of the test results from employees working at the same time as the one who tested positive for the virus. All of those results came back negative. Like we said, work will resume later today. The project expected to be complete in 2021. Pat?
And today, public schools now have the option to reopen their campuses. Local boards of education have the choice to open today or keep their doors closed. The state recommended middle school and high school students return today, but younger kids not to come back until July. The state recommended a July 6th reopening date for children in 6th grade and below. Marie?
The city of Huntsville is expected to give another round of updates on the status and impacts of coronavirus in Madison County this afternoon. You can watch it live on air right here after our midday newscast at 12 noon. Rob?